Ooh. Oh my god. Ah, fuck. I haven't even plugged it in. What am I doing? I haven't plugged it in. Ah! Hey! Request to come on. Dang it. Ah! Oh my god. Okay. Multi something something. Except. Ah! Hello? I don't know if Kat's talking. Kat, I hope you're not talking. Hey, James. Hey, Wit. Shelly, Marjorie. Mom Spaghetti. Can y'all hear me? Hello, hello. Can y'all hear me? Yes? Okay. Shit. Okay, I accepted Kat to join. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey.
Hey! Okay.
What's up?
Finally.
Hi.
Oh, you know. Just hanging out.
It's really fun to try to find a place to go live right now because we're rearranging the house. So I'm like on my dresser with the bed, and this isn't even going to be my room anymore. So I'm like, I don't like because the desk got taken apart, and so I'm like, I don't know where I'm gonna go. Like last week, it was in a closet. I'm like, whatever,
Well, shit.
whatever.
Okay. Different changes of energy, I guess. I don't know.
Oh yeah, there's a lot changing, and it's funny because because when Chris was feeling really like down not that long ago, it was like, hey, you need to like clean out your room, not deep clean, just clean out that energy that you helped me with, and then like physically that you helped me
Yeah.
with, and so now it's deep cleaned, and like all the stuff is out of that room, and it's really bright, and he's like. If I feel really weird and I'm like, it's not a balance of energy. It doesn't have enough dark in here. It's all
Right.
light now. So it's like too much for him. It's crazy.
It's like, ew, I don't like this room. Thank God I'm leaving.
Yeah, but like
Funny.
half of his stuff is in here and then the new bed comes tomorrow and I'm gonna be down in that room. So and then half of Amethyst's old bunk beds up in Chris's room, and then Amethyst isn't even here. Casey Ray's just happy she's got the computer,
You
and
don't give a fuck.
the kids are playing video games. Like it's all good, it's all good.
They don't give a fuck. Mm.
Mm-mm.
That's awesome, Shelly. I'm super excited for that spirit guide class. Like, super excited.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know, I host Zoom classes every Thursday night currently, and if you don't make it to the class, you can purchase it pre-recorded. And Kate has started to join me every once in a while. She already did one class, and it was a medical healing, which of course it's already come and passed. There's more Zoom classes available, but Kate is hosting a spirit guide class on June 30th. It's the last Thursday. Well, if it's not that date, it's the last Thursday in June. It's like there's 5 Thursdays in June, so Kate's gonna join and host the spirit guide one, how to connect with and talk to, and like if you're a seer or a feeler or a knower, how to connect better with them, like more one-on-one kind of, because it's a class setting. So that's super exciting. And if you are like camera shy, you do not have to turn your camera on. You can talk in the chat there. You do not have to be like present for her to help you, but it's a back and forth, and it should be fun.
Okay. Uh, does anybody want to come on and do some Healy thing? Like, does anybody want to volunteer for that, James? Anyone like that?
If you have a microphone, it's preferred. If you don't, that's fine. If you have 1,000 followers, because TikTok is finicky like that still, we'd love to have you come on and help you out. Someone that we haven't worked with a million times, no offense. We would love to work with all of you, but we want to work with someone that we haven't worked with before. Or, well, Kate invited somebody too, so that's different.
I'm anxiously waiting for their reply. He
They might
might
have
not
just
even
stopped
have.
on to say hi. He might have just stopped on to say
That's
hi.
true.
We haven't worked with Derek yet. Derek
Yeah,
of
I was looking at his. It was like just
yeah.
popped up. I'll be happy to. Derek, you want to come on? Because I think James wouldn't have good enough internet anyway.
No, he doesn't want to do the lives.
Yeah. Okay. Derek, you want to go lives?
No, it's
Live
okay,
stream?
Yancy. We love working with you, and Eva, we love working with you as well. But it's fun
But
to do stuff with people we haven't worked with yet.
I didn't realize they replied back.
Who, James did?
No. Yancey and
Oh, James said he got a new phone, so it's better.
Hi.
Hey,
hey.
did you turn your camera on? You're not used to joining. You're used to hosting, right?
I am. Hang on 1 second. Let me go ahead and turn my camera on.
I had to like leave and then come back on and then accept camera. Oh, there you are. Oh, you're like
Hey.
glowing, like, hello, hello,
Oh my
holy. What is this?
god.
What is this?
Crazy.
Hi.
What's up?
Oh,
What's up?
Yeah, are you wanting to?
Ricky Mouse.
Oh, I can't hear him.
Yeah, absolutely. I can
Oh, what are your pronouns,
do
Derek?
that. He, she, they, them, it.
Okay. No preference, but like
I'm.
anything, it's you don't get offended.
It's fluid. It's just whatever. Yeah, whatever for you. Whatever
I
you
can't hear him.
Yeah, it's really difficult to hear you, Derek.
Oh, I'm
Do
so
you
sorry.
have
Can you hear me now?
do you have
We don't
these?
know. We don't know if we can
Yeah.
until you start talking. That sentence always gets me. Everybody does it. Like, if it's like, oh, I'm having difficulty hearing you, and then they just say this one sentence, and it's, can you hear me now? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. Start talking, and then we'll see. I don't know. I heard that one sentence, but I cannot give you a definite answer on all of it. Kate, I keep doing this. This is my like, I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I feel it's like it reminds me of Captain Morgan in a way.
But that's that.
Yeah, I
Mine's more
know.
like a goofy,
Like a
oh,
sailor.
okay there, buckaroo. I guess so, sailor.
It reminds me of a sailor.
Okay, Sailor Moon. I'm just kidding.
Oh my god. James says I
When
know nothing sweaty.
when that person that like said, "Oh yeah, I'm Sailor Moon and Cat, you're in that dimension. It looks like you're the little tiny black cat thing," and I was like, "What?"
Can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
Actually, that's a lot better.
Yeah. Sorry, I had some equipment running, so I had to turn that all off.
Oh.
Oh.
So it was like your background noise was
Yeah.
okay. That makes sense.
All right. Let's see here. And y'all can just talk and everything like that. Like words
Bro,
of actions.
What?
tell us what you want. What do you? You're here. You're in our house, bro. We're gonna do things our way. All right.
Okay.
Tell us what you're going through. Be fucking vulnerable. What's up with you? Just like casual talk, man. What's up with
Yeah,
you?
like we do the Healy things.
You
Okay.
do the Healy things.
Alrighty.
It's like a
Yes.
session, but vulnerable.
I'm feeling what y'all saying. All right. Well, I guess there's just a lot of my own inner PTSD and my own personal inner turmoils that I am personally facing with. I have a lot of like trust issues.
Yep. You go live a lot, but you mask, and not in a way that you're not genuine. You're just protected.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even right now.
Yep. Right now he is too, and he's trying to let the wall down, but he's like,
Slowly.
"Yep."
Yeah. So
He let it. He let us in.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I give y'all full access. You know,
Well, don't
if
say that. I mean,
well,
give us access or whatever, but I don't want. I don't want to be all up in it. I don't.
I want to be all up in it.
um, I have a lot of trust issues, abandonment issues. I guess that's why a lot of times I put up a wall in order to basically protect other people from seeing that side.
It's not just a wall. It's like a almost like it's not a phone booth. It reminds me of those hurricane. Because I live in Florida, it's like a hurricane wind tube, but it's like one of those like tubes that slides.
Yeah, it's
Like you
weird.
opened this up to us, but this is still here.
Is
Yeah,
it from a guy that wore striped shirts a lot?
yeah.
Yes, it is.
Gross.
I have a weird question, Derek.
Yeah.
Was that someone who was God, this is like personal stuff. Was that someone who like was your friend in elementary or middle school? This feels like middle school, towards high school, and they were like quote unquote straight, but they were not when they were private with you?
Yeah, yeah.
No wonder
Wow.
the trust issues. And was super vulnerable with you, but not really.
Yeah, yeah. It was like in person, alone, vulnerability, but around anyone else, it was like, get off of me.
Yeah, no, it wasn't even like it was literally the cliche, like he even made fun of you a couple times.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It happened.
There,
Um,
there were even like private touches, and then
yep,
it was like it didn't even happen. Like,
yep.
no, like
So it's like the
gaslighting.
cliche, yeah, gaslighting. This is cliche, like, but it was the. I think you have a current partner right now, so it's hard to say this, but it was the. It's because you're so closed off. It's not like you aren't close to your partner now, but that was the closest you had ever gotten to anybody, and they fucked you over.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
almost like a
that was
promise
a.
of one day it'll be different,
Yeah,
like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, don't worry, one day it'll be different. One day it'll be different, and it never. The day never came.
it was like you're never
Yeah.
here, you're never around, and he would go, "What are you talking about, baby? I'm right here, right now. We're having this moment right here, right now. We're having this thing, da 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 da. I'm here with you right now." It's horrible. It's horrible. Okay,
Yeah.
under the sea.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Ah.
there was a gift. Sorry for anybody
I
listening
know
at
it's
home.
so like I just get so enamored with it, and then I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, we have this. Yes, we're looking.
Hey, Derek. So, like to pose this thing to you. That is the thing that your team is showing specifically needs to be taken care of. Are you ready to finally? Because it's hard because it's like you wear your scars on your heart and on your sleeve, and it's also scars of protection. And it also gives you an excuse not to get too close. But would you like to heal those scars? Would you like to heal those wounds so that you don't have to have coping mechanisms? You can actually like just live your best life and connect to whoever you want to again. That
Um,
makes you nervous.
I just screamed yes in my ear, so, uh, I, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome, actually. It's been a really long, hard, continuous
That's what she
struggle.
said.
You
Sorry.
to try to even even make a solid, thorough connection.
Are you afraid it'll happen again? Is that what this is? Like, even after the
It's
healing, you're like, nothing
almost
can
like,
heal this.
no, it's because I know the power of healing. I'm very familiar with it. It's harder to,
Are you afraid you won't love again on that
Mm.
same level?
like, that flutter in the heart, can't eat, can't sleep, reach for the stars, over the fence, World Series kind of thing. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, and it's something that I look. I used to look to whenever I was younger. It's almost like that fantasized
Okay, do this real
romance.
quick.
And not.
Do this, Derek. Say, Spirit, if it's in my
Mm-hmm.
highest good,
Spirit, if it's in my highest good,
please put my fairy tale romance pop up book
please put my fairy tale romance pop-up book
through bins,
through bend,
equalizer, and compressor healing.
equalizer, and compressor healing.
Okay, as you feel that go through you, what that does is Ben edits he's the person behind the podcast. So he takes the peaks and the valleys of our audio and he cuts out the silence or if there's like editing things and it kind of like makes it a more level sound. So we found that we can put negative thoughts through there. Once we figured out that he had that healing, Kate threw like 20 things through it at once, and it was so powerful. She was like, "Cool, let's throw spirit through there. Let's throw source through there. Let's throw." And he got a little nauseous and like stopped up for a bit.
It was great. It was a great time. And my guides were like, you can't throw everything in there. And I was like, yes, I can. Yes, I can. It's really good. It's so good. Yeah, nights like it works really good for intrusive thoughts. I agree.
Wow, this is very intense because it's almost like I'm feeling almost like everything being compiled, concise, and that which isn't like a positive, upbeat kind of a feeling association with the memory of things is no longer having so much of a deep hold, and I'm feeling this as it's coming through.
Does it feel
There was
like
like
a burp that, sorry, does it feel like a burp that won't surface?
No, it feels more like a almost like a weight lifted, if that makes sense.
there's
You know.
Kate, the bubble that you're feeling is like it's like a mental bubble, but it's of the heart. So I'm
Oh, the
thinking your
heart has
bubble
mental
pop
bubbles.
healing.
Can I do my bubble pop healing? It's a healing that takes the edge off of mental health things. So
Like if
Oh,
they'll,
you were diagnosed with something, it kind of pops the like expectations of what that is and brings
okay.
it to the surface in a more tangible way to heal it.
All right.
oh,
So,
absolutely. Thank you.
Spirit, if it's in Derek's highest good, please activate Kate's bubble pop healing to him and anywhere else he needs it.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go.
What is that?
That was emotional bubble that you've held for years. So, like this storybook romance thing, The Pocket, it was like if a pop-up book, it has folds and it had like shadow and dust inside all of these folds. And it was like you kept it on a shelf and you didn't open it. So when you opened it and you compressed and you let all that air out, there was this like bubble, which Kate can see it. So she was like, "Do you feel like you have to burp?" And it was like, "No." And then it was an emotional bubble that needed a burst. For you, it was like a love cyst, if you will.
Yeah, and it's almost like as if, and it was weird because it even affected my blood pressure. It all of a sudden I just feel like I don't have a headache anymore.
Well, if you think about like if at the daycare where I take my 4-year old, there's a sink to wash your hands outside, right? Okay, so and they were really clever with that. They made like it's like a table where people would use to like clean and cut fish on a boat or something. So they set those up during like COVID time and they still use it for hand washing. Well, if there's a kink in that hose, then the sink bubbles up, then the water can't flow and the water can't drain, and water is emotions. You were a kinky little bitch, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm
So,
sorry.
any of you that are on
Wow.
the live and just listening, we don't know what we're going to come up with or who is going to come on the live. Like, we've never worked with Derek. I did in a like it's during a TikTok back and forth one time, but yeah. So he didn't know what he was getting into, and he just kind of came on the screen. So yeah,
You
it's probably didn't
really.
expect this on a Tuesday night.
I'm glad you did.
Oh,
So I wrote out a healing today. I don't know if you got a chance to see it, Kate, because you were at work. But it was like for these moments that you want to go, like it's too much. It's too much to look at. And it's like it compresses all this stuff of like going back on the timeline, doing all the healing steps, pushing everything forward, which I've written out to you and talked to you about, Derek. But it's all of
mhm.
it kind of in one for all of that. So I'm going to walk you through saying that. You're going to
Okay.
say, Spirit, if it's in my highest good,
Spirit, if it's in my highest good,
please allow me access to
please allow me access to
all of the prevention work,
all of the prevention work,
healings,
healings,
protection work, healings,
protection work, healings,
cleanses
cleanses,
that version of me needed,
that version of me needed,
conducive to what they needed,
conducive to what they needed,
to be applied to that version of me
to be applied to that version of me
at this time.
at this time. Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna speed it up because it's pulling to something else that I want to ask you about. Spirit of Science, could please speed this up by 10 trillion years wherever necessary. Okay. I didn't know if you were done or if I can ask him about this thing. Okay. So don't be alarmed because it doesn't mean the conventional thing, but I keep seeing a giant coffin behind you and it's like zooming in and out of it. And I don't know if that is a protection. I don't know if that's a spirit guide. I don't think
Mm-mm.
it's a spirit guide because it's not talking to me. It's just
His
zooming in and
aesthetic in
out of
high
it.
is it your aesthetic in high school?
Um,
It's
I
okay if I'm wrong. If something Kate said made more sense.
I did like to draw like coffins like in a 3D sense back then. Because they were very symmetrical. I like symmetrical. And so I would always draw them. But another thing I would always draw would be like dragons or people. Um,
I think you were right, Kate, the spirit guide thing. He drew it because he was channeling his guide, right?
Okay. Um, I'm gonna ask it what it needs. It's like nothing. That's why it's not talking. It doesn't need anything. I guess you just needed to know that it was there. So like what I see is like standing right fucking behind you, and it's like it's zooming in and out of this coffin, right? And I
mm,
didn't ask it anything until just now, so it's like it doesn't want anything. It's just there.
You said you like to draw it because of symmetry, not necessarily because it was dark, but because it was fun to draw because of symmetry. So does it keep you balanced? Because it would be the balance of dark and light, death and rebirth, balance of masculine and feminine, balance energy. Does that make sense at all? Is that what its use
that
is?
I I was always drawn into with the aspect of its symmetry, that any which way I looked at it, it was right. You know, whether if I looked from it below, above, inside, outside, from the bottom or from the
It's
top,
doing.
it was the
While you're
same.
talking about it, it's doing something here. I'm just pointing it out. Keep going.
Yeah, it's weird. Um,
Did you forget about it?
I never had anybody actually see my coffin before, and so it's really interesting that y'all see it.
I don't. She does. But it's standing out for her to her for a reason. She wouldn't just like.
Right, right. Yeah, it's just, I mean, not that it's too alarming, you know, I mean, it's just surprising more than anything. Um, I feel, I don't know, anytime I feel about it, it just reminds me of Akate.
Okay, is he
Like,
opening the coffin? Like when he's talking about it, when he said like the inside and out and stuff, is he like opening it and like
Well,
looking in it?
so what I see the coffin doing is like massaging his forehead and making it soup. And then as it's doing that, the front of the front of the coffin
Coffin
is
with
just
hands
yes,
making you soup.
yes, and it's like, and then making it soup, and then as your head's becoming soup, it like opens the coffin.
And like a
uh,
key to open the coffin.
I
It's
guess
like
my,
bloop, bloop,
so.
bloop, 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 bloop,
whenever
bloop.
I in it, whenever I visualize it, it's more like I get taken to it. It's like I'm remote viewing it, and
Mm.
then I end up actually looking inside because, well, for one, I almost forgot what the inside looked like. Which, by the way, it's pretty much endless in there. Uh, but then you
That's what she
have
said.
the
Sorry.
the outside itself is interesting, and like what you said about the whole thing, like this, it's like warding protection. It
Mm.
just like, as I'm talking about it, it's like a natural reflex for this, like this stuff, the soup, you know. It makes it very murky and hard to see what's inside.
Oh, inside
Yeah,
your head.
What's in
right.
your head? In your
That's the song
head,
I got too.
zombies, zombies, zombie. Oh,
Oh,
oh, oh.
do you
It's
do
not done
necromancy
yet.
healings?
Do 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 do
There.
Yeah,
do.
zombie by can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Kate asked you if you do necromancy healings.
if
Oh, I thought
I
that's
do.
what he was answering.
No, he said cranberries. Zombies by
Oh,
the cranberries.
do
uh,
you do necromancy healings?
me, you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you. She's not
You.
talking to
Oh,
me, bro. She's talking to you.
uh, yes, I do necromancy healings. My it's kind of funny because my
With
bird
their
and
tanks
flying
and their
out of the cage
bombs.
one day, just randomly, never flew before, but started flying, and then got hit by the fan and basically like broke its neck. I
Sorry.
rushed over to it, I,
Sorry, that's horrible. It's horrible. I'm sorry.
but it's funny, you know, because you can almost hear the, you know,
Oh
Yes.
no. If you're
you know.
sensitive, I'm so sorry. I do love animals. I swear. It's just, it was
It
funny.
is. It's kind of funny to picture and hear and see.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
did
I
he look like
ran,
a pineapple?
huh?
Did he? Was he like yellow? Did he look like a pineapple?
Like yellow on the chest, but like green on the back.
He
Yeah,
looked like a
Pineapple.
pineapple.
yeah.
Okay.
So it was like,
Okay.
looked
A
at it from
potato flew
the
around my
No.
room before you came.
bottom, and he was really pretty.
Hmm.
So I ran over to him. I scooped him up real quick, and I just immediately just like,
You try to breathe life into him.
I did, and he
Yeah,
came
he
back.
did.
Yeah, like he even like, "Ah!" like weird. It was like it was weird. You can hear the
He even
it like went down just like that, and my family was all like, "Oh, he was just knocked out. He was just knocked out."
No, he
Okay.
wasn't.
You breathe
Okay.
He
life
wasn't
into
knocked
him.
out. He was dead.
I was like, okay.
He
sure.
was fat. Sorry.
I was just like, okay, believe what you want. I know what happened. I heard the poor little thing's neck crack. No. And but whenever I did that, that's whenever I knew I had this healing touch. I had this healing ability.
Hey,
And
help. I'm the bird. I became the bird.
Okay. Spirit of the Masculine, please speed up attention. No, you gotta do transmutation. Spirit of the Masculine, please speed up the transmutation healings by 10 trillion years, however long necessary.
Oh, geez.
So, like,
I got the
Cat
I'm
became
still
the bird.
alive. I'm still alive. I'm still alive. Thank you.
oh wow. That is so insane.
So I have a question too. Whenever you were younger, did you watch like Scooby-Doo a lot?
That was the number one show that I always watched. I watched Scooby-Doo, and I would watch that over Tom and Jerry, Batman, Superman, Animaniacs, all that. I would watch Scooby-Doo.
Because, okay, this might sound weird, but it's like this coffin guide, team member, whatever, is like it's not where he came from, but it's how you knew that you could do it. Does that make sense? Like, it's almost like Scooby-Doo gave you the idea and then it brought it into your consciousness. Does that make sense?
It does. Oh, there's a car outside honking.
Was it the mystery machine? Sorry.
Sure was. I gotta go to Max, you know. Yes, it had. There was, I want to say, an episode where there was this coffin, I recall, and it didn't look it didn't look identical to the one I fabricated, but it does bear some resemblance to it. And it just stuck with me. It was an episode from like, I think like the pagan Wiccan one that came in that they
With the
had.
girls that had the
Yeah.
concert?
Yeah.
The witch
Yeah.
girls?
Yeah.
What was their group name?
Salem somethings.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was like I know
The Hex Girls.
Hex
The
Girls.
Hex Girls.
That's it.
That's what it was.
Butterfly.
Yeah, that's it. And I just remember that, and I remember seeing that big old pumpkin.
Sorry. I keep coughing when he's talking, and I'm turning red, and my arm keeps twitching.
Are you becoming the coffin guide?
I don't think so.
I hope not. He doesn't have lungs.
Cat usually becomes things that like need to be healed. So like your bird, she became your bird because we were going back in time and helping, right?
Yeah, time shift.
Like, huh?
Did you used to hey Derek, did you used to wear Moldavite?
I actually wore like all together an accumulation of up to 1 pound.
Did you wear it on your chest?
Actually, it was kind of like all over me, my wrists, my ankles.
What was the piece that you wore on your chest?
Moldavite. It was a big
piece. That's what I fucking thought. Okay, can you do me a favor? Can you say, Spirit, if it's in my highest good?
Spirit, if it is in my highest good.
Please allow me access
Please allow me access
The cat's moldavite damage removal healing.
to the
Cat's
moldavite
damage
healing.
removal healing. Yep.
Oh my god, hold on.
Allow me to cat's moldavite damage removal healing.
Spirit from the high school, please activate the speed up healing to this. The ripple healing to this. Oh.
Okay.
And the closing statements to this.
Closing statements.
Okay.
How big was that piece? Was it like this big? What was that? Big old chunk. Big fucking chunk. Big, like right here.
Yeah. This one right here?
Yeah.
Because there was a smaller piece down here, and that was the moldavite. And there's this big piece right
What
here.
was the big piece?
That was selenite.
Oh, so it's like, okay, do Kate's fiberglass removal healing, please. So, Spirit, if it's in my highest good.
My highest good.
Please allow me access.
It's fiberglass healing, please.
Removal healing.
Removal healing, please.
Okay, something pulled out of the portal in the back of his neck because he's not just necromancy. He crosses things over.
Oh, I'm an anchor. I am.
Huh?
I'm an anchor. I am an anchor. Yeah.
So pulling out the moldavite damage, moldavite's fine now, guys. It's been neutralized. I don't want to go into it. Doesn't matter. We all have damage in our bodies from when it was toxic. It's not anymore. The selenite, there were shards in it. When you pulled that out, it unclogged this portal, and whatever entities you had crossed over, there was something stuck there, and it cleaned that out.
That actually makes a lot of sense right now, because I don't even feel a mental fog anymore. And I've been experiencing mental fog for at least 3 months.
Do you smoke, Derek? Like any kind of anythings?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Because there's smoke in the back of your portal too, so I wasn't sure. Do you vape? Is that what this is?
There's nothing wrong with selenite. It was just there was just a lot of fiberglass. It flaked off. That's all. Someone asked in the chat. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I do both. I smoke cigarettes, and I also vape CBD.
Okay. It pulled something out of your vape too. That's why I was asking this. Whatever. I don't want to like scare you, but it's like some kind of crystals.
That was one of the first vape things I had, and it's like one of those iron wire crystal coils or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Well, I had hit it for too long, like back to back, and it like blew, and I knew that it was going to blow. You know,
it's in your lungs.
Yeah, I actually been
and in your esophagus.
Yeah, more in my esophagus. But I can feel where it's at, and it's
so get it out. Okay, so I want you to do this, Derek. If you were to imagine, right? If you could see inside your neck as if you were looking like Magic School Bus or like at a medical thing.
Right.
And you could like literally just go into the picture and grab it. Would you pull it out with tweezers, your hand? Would you pull it out with a wet paper towel? What would you do?
I would just pull it out with my finger.
Can you fucking pull it out, please? And collect it in a little pile?
Gross. You're like, I don't know why you like touching it real good, but you're just like, oh yeah. You're just like touching it.
Okay. Now, what are you going to do with that pile of stuff? Do you want to burn it? Do you want to bury it? Do you want to blow it up? Do you want to feed it to
Put it
something? What do you,
put it in a jar for later use.
for baneful uses? I think that's
Okay.
perfect. So stick it in your baneful jar bank. You can even, if you
Yeah.
don't even know where that is, just say, put it in my baneful jar bank.
Yeah.
There we
I
go.
did. I'm that. There we go. I just went ahead and just put it in there.
No, nothing's playing behind me. It's a ceiling fan and a whatchamaffucking call it, a light in the ceiling, skylight. That's it.
My
And then
husband's
Kate,
playing.
he's playing video
Yeah.
games. Shannon's playing video games. That's how they hang out together. Kate does the live, Shannon sits behind and does video games. That's quality time.
Love
Wow.
language.
Okay, so
This is
now that you pulled all those crystal shard thingies out of your lungs, they were
yeah.
gross, they were gunky, they were
Yeah.
beautifully pussy. Now, what the fuck do you do to heal the skin? What kind of ointment, herb, wax, what skin stem cells? What do you need to do to fix your esophagus, please? Ow. The burning sensation means it's working.
Is this like some kind of cloves? What the fuck is this? Olive branch? I don't know. It looks like a bunch of leaves. What do you do? What is this, Derek?
He doesn't want to tell you. That's
Oh,
why he didn't say it
sorry.
out loud.
It's not any of those things.
It's a
Fuck
secret
off.
ingredient.
Okay.
It's grandma's recipe and it's hidden.
Derek's recipe.
It's a secret recipe.
Okay, that's fine. That's all you have to say. I will
Tis a
stop.
recipe,
Huh?
although willing to share it.
You don't have to
You
if
don't
you don't
have
want
to.
to. I just like
We don't give a fuck.
seeing the
Okay?
thing. Yeah. I just like seeing the things.
I guarantee we are not going to go out to the store and get it. We are just going to, like, if anything, we'll be like, activate Derek's Healy thing on my throat. Thanks. Peace out. No, we
Yeah.
don't activate it unless we don't use other people's healings unless we have, like, they've
Oh,
made it public to share.
it's public. I mean, same. So
Yeah, but
like,
you don't necessarily. Here's another thing. People, you might not want to make your healings like some, yeah, absolutely. If you do, but the reason Kate and I make all of our healings available, like we have services that we get paid for, and it allows us to give away more. But like if you make a healing and you want to charge people for that shit or put it in your spell work or whatever, fucking charge people for it. You do not have to give everything away for free. I'm just saying. So I'm saying that for
right,
anybody listening.
right. No, yeah, no, you're right. Absolutely. Um, and I mean, I do have some of my own, I guess you could say, compartmentalized files of healings in my, in my storage that I have strictly just for, my service ones, things that I do for services. But there's also like a general aspect healing one where it's more in the realm of activating your higher metabolism to rev up your metabolism to increase the rate of which your cells regenerate.
Okay.
Hold on. When you went in your little compartment file thing, it's literally like it's not filing cabinets, it's bookshelves full of manila folders. And I don't know what like I don't know, do you count like you're like number 57 on this shelf. I don't know what this is, but you went into it cuz I went in with you wherever this was.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
it's
looks like a literal hole in the wall.
I,
Like
I literally
literally.
have a bunch of files and folders and everything in one of my boxes over here. So it's funny you say that, and it has actually a lot of that healing stuff that I have written down for physically as well as compartmentalized.
Yeah.
Yeah. As well. So
It's so compartmentalized because that goes back to your trust issues.
yeah, it
Okay.
is.
Well, this is
Yeah.
really well hidden too. Like,
Oh, it's super hidden. It's like you're like, I am going to memorize the numbers to the keys, to the pages, to the things. This number means this to me. Like, it's deep.
no, it looks like you have to punch a wall to get to it. Like, there's a paved over wall, and there's bricks, and there's like concrete fiber over the
It has its
bricks.
own wards
Like,
too. It has its own wards
yes.
too.
Yeah, it also, if you look closer, it actually produces a ward around the recipient of the healing as well.
Oh,
Interesting.
that's fucking. Talk about like getting a little extra. But wait, there's more. You get your own ward when you do this. That's shit. Damn, babe.
That's pretty fucking cool.
It's quite interesting, I will say, and fairly effective whenever I utilize it on other people, and myself. My mom, I actually I infuse its properties into my healing tincture. So, um, yeah, it's amazing what it does.
What's the special one up top, hidden up in like where the ceiling is? Like up on
Uh,
the top of the bookshelf or something. What is that? What is that one? Is it in a ceiling vent? What is that?
that that's actually a healing of fertility. It's for people that have issues conceiving.
Why do you have it way up there?
Um,
When you're
because
ready, come and get it. That's what it feels like.
I have it up there because, well, for one, it's very,
It makes you
um,
emotional, like really emotional.
yeah, it
Who
does.
did you create it with? Sorry, this is super personal. I'm so sorry.
Actually, it's okay. One of my really good friends that actually passed away.
I get it.
We,
I get it now.
we vocational school together, and he was a bruja, and we had actually collaborated on a healing, and it was inspired by basically his whole, well, like his aunt, really. She couldn't conceive for a while, and his heart really went out to her. So, we were
You're
just like,
you're
we could.
healing by talking about it. I don't there's like heat radiating out of you.
Are these his
It's
animals then
intent.
that are here?
What'd you say, Kate?
Are
um
these his animals that are here then? I don't know. They're like on my
um
legs.
I have, I guess you could say, kind of like beacons, like egregorian beacons, where basically this spirit or this creature will actually go to people that require a certain kind of healing, and they just simply have to accept if it's in
They're
their
like
highest
creeping,
heart.
like they're on Kate's leg, but they're like creeping around my shoulder like this. And they've got their fingers like this around me and they're like
They're more than likely they're trying to like figure you out to see like what it is exactly you may need. That it's kind of like they're sniffing for metaphysical wounds.
here you go.
Um,
Here you go.
it's interesting what they do.
Here you go.
They're
I'm
fuzzy.
just
I like
I'm just
them.
They
letting them
kind of have a
I'm just
mind.
letting them smell me. Here you go. They lick
Wow.
wounds too. They lick.
Yeah, they do. They do. They
One
do
of our
lick
friends had
wounds.
something similar to this, but it comes out of her.
interesting
my back.
because it's like acid, but it doesn't hurt. Some people it hurts, but
What
it's
the
like
fuck would they be like cleaning off of me, off my back and my neck? Am I acting as something for Derek, or are they cleaning something off of me? Because that's my portal. So I
it
mean,
looks like you.
yeah. What are they cleaning?
I don't know,
Yeah,
it looks like a scar. Oh, good.
they will basically like clean stagnant energy off of you. They will help to repair
Oh,
some holes in your auric barrier.
that's really good because my 8-year-old that
They
normally
basically
does that isn't here.
yeah,
Continue.
and
I'm sorry. I'm just like, oh, good. I need that.
they also revitalize wards that you have placed, like for plants and other things. I've actually used them to actually bring a dead stick back to life and actually grew into a tree.
Yeah,
So I
necromancy.
mean, they're very interesting little creatures.
I have a question.
Um,
I have a question.
does does
I know the
somebody like
word.
butter?
What is that?
It looks like a butterfly to me. Okay, but for some reason, it's just I was
Well, someone
fidgeting,
in the
and then
chat
this
said
guy
wing. Someone in the chat said something about wing upgrade. So the butterfly makes sense to
that
me.
Oh,
or a lotus. A
animals.
lotus.
Your animals ask them to give you a wing rebirth or whatever.
Me or him?
Him. Unless
Oh,
it's talking about you, cat. Unless it's what they
It
were
might
trying to
be.
do on your back.
It might be what they were
it,
doing on me. It could be
Okay.
Derek. I don't know.
no, I because my wings are full span. They're great.
We
Um,
have multiple though. We have multiple
yeah,
sets.
I guess just who's
yeah,
ever
like
needs it in this chat. Like, just in case it's
Okay,
not.
so we're just all gonna say it, and then wherever it happens, it's okay. But we're gonna change it from my wing rebirth upgrade to Derek's. What do you want to call this? Egregore wards.
Egregorian wing repair and
Okay.
and
Spirit, if
yeah,
it's in my
wing
highest good,
repair healing.
please
Mhm.
allow me access to
Okay.
Derek's Egregorian wing repair healing. I think it's me. There might be others, but it was butterfly-ish because I don't think I don't have butterfly wings, but they went like this and then they folded down.
Mhm. Yeah.
Gross. That's super feminine. But we were talking about like feminine stuff.
The feminine energy.
Gross. Sorry.
You can also do um I call it my A1. Um is what I always like to call it. I've been calling it my A1 for like 10 years now. But it's my A1 healing, and basically it does wing repair, transdimensional wing repair, and it will actually transcend through the dimensional, throughout the dimensions and all versions of yourself. So basically, you just say, like, Spirit, if it's in my highest good, please allow me access to Derek's A1 healing. Um, and just let's see what happens there.
It's pulling on stuff, but it reminds me of when my 4-year-old wants my attention, and when I'm downstairs, they like energetically grab at my tentacles and my feelers. So for me, it feels super
Mm,
uncomfortable. It triggers my own little worry of like, why is this uncomfortable? But also, it's the same feeling that my 4-year-old gives me. So I'm feeling it out.
mm, yeah, and like take your time into it because everything like reveals itself like in stages.
So this is for anybody. This is nothing to do with Derek. This is just literally whenever I go inside, I always, because I don't want to have any fear of trying something new. So even if it's with my healing or Kate's healing or anybody's healing, you can say, Spirit, if it's in the highest good, please undo anything connected to that was not in my highest good. A little bit of movement, but not a lot. The majority of it stayed there, but there was something that wasn't conducive for me personally. But it was, the most of it stayed.
Mm-hmm.
What's it doing for
Yeah,
you, Kate?
It stretched mine so thin because I'll just give everything that it was ripping my back. So it undid
It
the rip.
stretches.
yeah,
That was the
it
discomfort.
likes to
It was just
transcend.
like,
It's a hard one. It is. It's a hard one, but it literally like it does something to me personally, where it's almost like as if where like all of my selves in every timeline are basically like in this have the same wings, and it is like to the highest good of myself in every dimension. But it
I think it would
can
probably, I
stretch.
think it'd probably be good for the darker, more feminine energies as well.
Oh.
Because it helped a lot. It just, not all of it was for me. But that's with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's wings are a bunch of
Yeah.
tongues, and I'm sure they're real uncomfortable right now. Because I was like looking at the chats, I'm like, oh, I wonder how everybody else is doing. I'm like, no, okay.
Yeah, it's a little. It is intense.
Sybil says, I don't like this.
Forewarned. I don't like this.
That's too damn bad. No, I'm sorry.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
Hey, do you want to? We kind of skipped over it a little bit, Derek, and we don't have to, but I could feel the emotions of your friend no longer being with you. Do you want to talk about that? Do you want to look at that? Or are we good leaving that sacred just space alone for now?
Do y'all feel that it needs that healing? Because if it's coming from me, it's more of a bias thing. But if it is, so what if
So
I
basically, like
just
this. Let me explain it like this. This is what I did in quarantine when it comes to like soul fragments and stuff. So when people were locked up inside, if they looked at a picture of the beach and they were like, "Oh my god, I love the beach. It's so great." There really weren't any soul fragments. But if you look at a picture, a sentimental picture, even though it's like emotional, it makes you feel some type of way, like in a beautiful way even. But if you look at it and you go, "Oh, the beach. I love the beach. It's been so fucking long since I've been to the beach," then there's probably soul fragments there that could use some releasing. It doesn't hurt the energy, it just kind of clears the air. But if that's part of
my
the
sister?
potency, then I say don't touch it.
There is something, my youngest sister from my father, but a different mother, whom I didn't really live with, but I did get to meet her, spend time with her, even for just a little bit, and I formed a bond in that sense. A few weeks after, or no, actually a few months later after that, my teacher tells me, or the counselor called me in to the principal's office, and the principal sent me outside, telling me that my dad was outside. So I go outside thinking that my either I'm in trouble or my dad's pulling me out to play hooky or something. So half of me was excited, the other half of me was scared, you know. But he told me to sit down, that we had to talk, and then he told me that what had happened. My sister, um, Sarah, passed away, and it had been it had already been like at least a few days prior to that. Um, and her twin, who's still alive, perfectly healthy, having children of her own, living her life. You know, the first time I saw a picture of her since she was a baby, she was about 21 years old. And I mean, just the sheer image of her, I was bawling in the middle of a bar with my dad and my brother. And it was it was healing in a way, but also there's a lot of pain still associated with it due to my deceased sister, you know, never really getting to find out what who she would have turned out to be, you know.
So, when you first started talking, Derek, when you were talking about being in school and your dad pulling you out, the energy was over here to the side. It kind of felt like you were talking around the topic, not actually going into the topic, explaining a lot without actually exposing your true emotions. When you talked about the bar situation, you went into the dimension, you went into that memory and into the bar, and it's so dark and heavy and intense in there that it was like, what is it when it's like very in the Hollywood kind of feeling where it just starts getting darker and darker and darker, and it just like the light
Like a
dims.
speakeasy.
It's like a speakeasy.
Yeah.
Did you hope to drink yourself to death that night? Like, there's a lot of heaviness here.
As you say it, my right ear starts ringing.
Yeah, it was
Um,
itching. I had to take my
Like you
headphone
wanted to
out while
go to
you were
sleep.
talking.
Like the
like I
forever
want
sleep.
Did you pull, oh, did you pull something down that night? Did you like try to connect to her soul? Did you try to pull, like, what was this? It pulled your energy. It was pulling you, like it was draining you.
trying to bring my sister back.
Yeah, I got like
It
an
was
arm reaching
necromancy.
out. Like an
It
arm
was,
reaching
but it,
out and grabbing.
2 days is too late, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But you grabbed her, but it reminds me of that scene in Hercules with Megara where he like
Mm,
goes down in the well of souls or whatever. It looks
right.
very much like that,
I
but
got well, too.
Yeah.
yeah, but you had to let her go. Like
That's
you
also in Scooby
caught
Doo,
her.
also. But it's the Scooby Doo movie, not the
Mm-hmm.
cartoon, where he like is in the well and he's looking for all the heads and he's like, zoop,
Yeah.
and throws them out. Zoop, throws
Oh
them
yeah, I
out.
remember that.
So that's connected.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to go back to that moment of you, and we're gonna do it a different way.
Okay. The bar
You have
or
to help her to the bar. You have to help her pass. Well, we need to go before that too, but you have to go help her pass and not try to bring her back to life, but you still need to help her. But instead of pulling down, you need to do the Scooby Doo way and pull her out. Does that make sense?
yeah, like taking her to the next realm, into the
Yep.
next. Yeah.
You can take her through your coffin door, I got. Oh, okay.
Why is she so sad to be coming through the coffin door?
So there's this thing of like, when they don't know they're dead, like if you take them through a portal, which I do, it's like they're like, oh, I'm going through this like really shiny door. This is fun. But taking them through the coffin, it's that realization. But they need the realization. It's like better to have the realization that they died because it helps them. It seems like a healthier mental way to do it instead of like, I didn't know that I was doing this until this moment. It feels like I'm patronizing or like it's the
Uh,
same energy as giving a kid calamari and telling them it's chicken fingers. Like I'm
it,
not explaining it, but what
it
you do explains it.
it's really like for closure for that
Yep.
life. It's closure for that life, so that a way there's no unsettled, there's no unfinished business. It's not open from that past. It allows them to be able to accept and be able to move forward into the next cycle, because it's a part of your whole soul life you
It
know
seems really beneficial the way you're doing it. I mean, it's harder for you. It's sad. Kate, is there a way I can fix mine to where I want a version of that?
Yeah.
Or is it just me
Yeah.
having a conversation with them?
um
Yeah. It's like you just like the Janet thing, but except you're like, hi, this is what is happening. And this is what, like, you have like little talk with them before they go through this door, your
Okay.
portal.
So I would talk to them like I would to my kids and explain that it's calamari and that they can have it if they don't want it and blah, 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 blah. Okay, hold on just a moment. Spirit, if it's in my highest good, please, from this moment and all moments, all now moments from the past, future, and up, down, left, right, all around, please allow me to have a conversation of death and closure and rebirth every time I cross someone over, conducive to what they need. Please apply the speed appealing to this.
Your sister, Derek, or your half sister, it's almost like, I don't know if it was you or your dad. Somebody is like trying to tell them bye. They're like, they can't leave unless I tell them bye. Cause she's like looking back like this, very confused. And like, I see this hand, like, I haven't told you bye yet. And it's like, I don't know if, you know?
um yeah, my dad was actually at work when this all happened, even though she, like, my sisters, the twins, had lived with my dad and their mom. But then they uh, they ended up going outside while the mom had passed out, um, due to narcotics. Um, and so the the pool gate was damaged, so that way they could just walk in. And we lost Sarah that day.
How old were they, Derek?
Um,
Quite young. No,
3 or 4.
yeah, no.
I got,
What,
that's weird.
Kate?
I got three
Yeah,
also, but when they're in the pool, they grow up.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's like of course, they're young, so the baby gate thing, and it was like 3 or 4. But then when they're in the pool, it's like middle school or high school age, and I don't understand what
Yeah,
that
I got like
means.
10 to 12.
Is it a timeline thing, like a past life
yeah.
thing?
My sister healing more than anything, uh, because those were times whenever she would want her sister there with her. She would visualize her sister there with her, and she would always reflect back at the pool, just simply because she knew about it.
Oh. So as the
Yeah,
sister
you're
grew up and they were twins, gotcha.
right.
That makes sense. I got
Yeah.
it. Does that make sense to you, Kate? No? Okay.
No.
So like, okay, if I passed away,
Mm,
spirit, this is a scenario. If I passed away and you went out to eat like we normally would, and you're
mm.
in your 50s at this point, you would imagine what it would be like to have 50-year-old or 60-year-old cat with you eating a
God,
meal.
okay. Yeah, I would probably project you there. So
Right.
that's
So
probably
that's what,
exactly what she's doing.
yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Mm,
Exactly what she's
So
projecting her.
quintessentially, she kept her in a little bit of a loop too, a soul loop, and an
Mm,
aging one, which is interesting too.
yeah, because they were identical. So all she had to do was just look at herself in the mirror and then literally see what her sister would look like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just made it a lot easier for her.
Okay, so do this, Derek. Say, spirit if it's in the highest good.
Spirit, if it's in the highest good,
And their soul consents.
in their soul consents,
Please release any soul contracts
please release any soul
that
contracts
aren't in their highest good,
that aren't in their highest good,
that they give me permission to release,
that they give me permission to release,
and allow them to be each other's spirit guides.
and allow them to be each other's spirit guides.
There we go. There's not as much of a need to pull her down and age her now. It's like they're
It,
always together.
right, right, like they're fused into as one.
More like that, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's like the part of her that was here merged with her.
Like her team.
Right.
It's like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Kate, what are you looking at?
There's still somebody like reaching
Oh,
for,
it's the
and I
dad.
think,
It's still the
okay,
dad.
okay. Um,
Yeah, because he never got his closure either. So, spirit, if it's in his highest good, please heal him.
looks like he got her flowers. That's his healing.
I should have bought flowers.
Like, spiritually going to her grave and bringing her flower. Like, that's the closure of like just.
Oh, an acceptance and a goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay, now it looks like she's walking through just fine.
You're helping your entire family, Derek, quite a bit.
um, my cousin, she had passed due to acute leukemia. She was diagnosed, and when she was about 5 months pregnant, they ended up coming back with the blood culture that indicated that she had acute leukemia. Um, the baby was stillborn due to a rupture in the placenta, to which about a year and a few months later, she then passed herself, to which I never got to go see her, never got to go to her funeral, never got that closure.
Was the baby that passed your sister?
Um,
She was like stuck in limbo here. Does this make sense? Like because she was not completely like through and there were people trying to hold on to her and stuff. Like she was supposed to be the baby. And then like I'm not saying it's anybody's fault, but there's like a disconnect of can't come back into the earth realm because of all of these like entangled things.
that actually makes a lot of sense, honestly. Um, I would actually,
Sybil put they had been thinking of reincarnation the entire time and even erased it earlier. Okay, keep going, Derek. Sorry.
I would even like try my best to, um, I had like a lot of expectations whenever we were under the impression that my cousin was going into labor. Um, I was just so excited. You know, my grandmother and I, we ended up rushing to the hospital, and then we ended up, um, once we got there, the grandmother's roommate ended up meeting us at the door, and with no warning, without letting anybody sit down or nothing, just told us that the baby didn't make it. And I mean, I
You're in
wasn't.
disbelief. You're in disbelief.
I am, like, even now, you know.
Yeah, you're like there's no way. I
I
did all the
even
healing. I did all the healings. I did all the things. Everything's lined up. Everything's going good. There were no complications in the pregnancy. There's no way that this is actually happening.
well, the thing is this is that they ended up giving her they gave her something and mixed it with something else that they weren't supposed to. It's a malpractice.
It's justice time, Derek. It's justice time, or you're just gonna be stuck in this.
Yeah. Well, they got sued.
Nope, different kind.
Like like a baneful justice.
Whatever this is, it's just called Derek's Justice.
That'd be painful.
Oh, my just desserts.
There
That's
you go.
my just desserts. I Ben's heard me say that, call it that, so for so long.
Yes.
I have a just desserts spell.
So why don't you just kind of apply that everywhere needed and let it do its thing?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, you don't have to. Far be it from me.
Oh no, but it sounds like a wonderful plan. I mean, I never considered that before. So I mean, the fact that you are enlightening me to that aspect, that
Them getting sued is part of why. It's like you're doing it at this moment in time, and that's part of it, but there's other stuff.
okay. Oh,
You're getting prepared. Your soul is getting prepared for it anyway.
It's like this, too.
everywhere need.
It's something you do with your fingers when you do this. There's like a hand gesture involved with this. You don't like using it.
I don't, because it basically gauges their soul karmic debt, their soul karmic.
You wouldn't, if you didn't know how to do it naturally, then you wouldn't be supposed to do it.
Yeah,
Does that make
it's just that
sense?
it could maim them or unalive them. So I mean, it really just depends on the character of the soul.
It depends what needs to be evened out, is what is getting explained to me as I'm watching.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's just like you're saying, but they're showing. I guess they're
It's
showing
not
me.
on your soul, though, Derek. Like, if you were to go, if you say, Spirit, show me the scroll of lives I have taken, even all the people you've crossed over and all the justice work that you've delivered, there's 0 names on that list. You have not harmed like that. This justice, this just desserts, it's like if someone does something and they fire themselves.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I can understand. It's easy for me to say because I don't have something like that, and I don't know if I'd be able to handle something like that. I know I've seen Kate deal with things like that where she's like, I can't, because if I even talk to them, they're going to want to harm themselves. Like, I can't.
Yeah. It kind of also implements, like, if they don't deserve the unalivement feature, then it basically defaults to total complete shadow work healing and soul karmic healing.
That's what's happening this time.
Yeah, that's what's
they were explaining
with the energy even out. It's whatever energy they have lacked for so long. It's like, oh, well, now it's
like
time.
Getting sued was a big part of it because it made them face themselves.
Mm-hmm. And it's actually one of the more it's actually one of the most complex spells that I have is the Just Desserts. There's also like one for like self-love healing, which also there energetically aligns you to another person that is meant for you that is
I have one of
energetic,
those.
who
With no
also
expectations of permanency.
exactly. And so then it ends up bringing them together like magnets, you know. And I've explained to them, I've explained to people before, like, you will know because you will be pulling that person no matter where they are. I mean, life spirit is just going to start directing your life, start moving you to wherever you got to go in order to meet that person. And it's almost like one of those Hallmark movie romance novel type thing.
Gross. Gross.
It is.
Gross.
It is.
Gross.
So that's for those ones like in for that. You know, they want that. You know, because I mean, you have
Gross.
like that.
Anybody who wants it is gross.
Every, it is, but it's true.
Derek, I want to say this, because you are so careful of when you do your just desserts, it looks like you only pull it out in dire need. That's what she said. And because of that, it feels like it always ends lives. But if you got more comfortable with realizing that it does it when needed and balances out energies, you might actually use it more because it doesn't do that every time. But because it happened once, it's like, let's not do that again unless it's super important. So you've put this like energy into it. Yeah, it's sacred, but like,
It is, and you know what? You are right. You are, and I mean, I should definitely utilize it more because there's so many people that could really benefit from it.
yeah,
Uh, you know, those that end up
do it to
attuning
me.
the just desserts. Okay, it works either way for good or bad.
I
You
know, I
know,
would
I
love
do
it.
mine to myself all the time. All the time.
so spirit, if it is in um if it is in anyone's interest to receive this just desserts, please allow them access to it by the simple notion of stating, allow me access, spirit, to Derek's just desserts.
Spirit of its in the highest good, please allow me access to Derek's just desserts.
Derek, it gave me self-love like a blanket.
It feels so
like,
good.
It feels really good.
It feels so good.
Oh my God.
It's also
it,
moving
came
stuff
down
in my
like a
reproductive
feast.
organs too.
It feels so good. I just want to hug the blanket. Oh, when you hug it, it goes inside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine went deep in my womb lands. Deep
Deep
in my
my.
womb
Wow,
lands.
that's terrible.
Sorry. Too
Um,
soon? Too soon?
There's another one. There's another one too. It's like the just, only this one is more for like your abilities, in order to help guide you and attune you to your soul divine purpose, which actually kind of it's beautiful how it works out, but it's about my soul purpose alignment spell, which I just call it my sass spell.
Oh. I don't think I
Derek
needed that
said.
one.
It's a sass spell. And
I'm sassy enough. I don't know.
it's well, SAS.
Oh, okay.
So it's a soul alignment spell, like, but I call it my sass spell, and it's interesting. So anybody that would be
I feel like if I
interested,
did that one, I would go back into Energizer Bunny mode and I would be like 20 videos a day. Well, I used to make like 50 videos a day.
I
What's
have.
wrong with that?
I am a mom. I do have a life. I actually have a
Wildcat.
partner and Spirit, if it's in my highest good, please
No.
allow me access to Derek's SAS spell work Conducive to what I needed this time.
It's making my feet twitch.
It does. It does. It does a lot of things. Quite honestly, it can do even mild healings.
And my sinuses.
James said, I bet Kat is a great mom. James, I bet you're a great dad.
I'm a really good cat mom. Oh, thanks.
You're a great mom, best friend to my kids. Whatever the fuck that is.
There you go.
I like it.
Thanks, guys.
I also have an SGA spell, if that's something that anybody's might be interested in. It's a spiritual gift activation spell.
A lot of people would be interested in that one. Actually, tons.
Okay, so let's see here. Spirit of Fits.
Bonus month.
If anybody be interested in my spiritual gift activation spell, please allow them access to it if it is within their highest good in this time now.
It's like any of the doors that we weren't able to help open, the awareness of it's almost like when you open a closet and it's like, oh, I had that there the whole time? I wonder where this went. It's compartments. Oh, you're really good at compartments. So it's like it finds all that are hidden compartments of where they locked it up, whatever timeline or lifetime this is.
Yeah, it
where
goes
they're like,
through.
It reminds me of in Sleeping Beauty, when the cartoon version, when they put away their magic to raise the child as a human, and they have to do all the things like a human, and they had to put it all away. You are like, hey, remember this? Hey, remember this? And they're like, oh, yeah, I do remember that. That making a cake with magic sounds way better than holding it up with a broom. That sounds great. Thanks.
Yeah. It helped a lot, especially whenever people, especially like with the gifts that you had whenever you were younger, or even in, say, past lives, in congruence with your current soul fragment. Those spiritual gifts also come into alignment with your current self, to which allows you access.
It's an overwhelming taste in my mouth. That's what she said. I don't know what this is, though.
Yeah, it
because
is.
I didn't do the healing, so I'm feeling everybody else's.
It looks like silver in your mouth.
It's like it tastes like a metal. It's overwhelming, though.
Yeah.
If Nice could please speed this up by 10 trillion years or however long necessary for everybody that wants it.
They might need to activate their grounding straps after that one, because that opens like a lot.
It does.
Okay, Spirit, if it's in my highest good, please activate my personal divine grounding straps in all directions as needed.
Yes.
James says his hand meridians are making smoke. I wouldn't be surprised.
That's cool. Hey, Derek, okay, so I'm getting the song Monster by Nicki Minaj and whoever, Kanye West something, but it's specifically the lyrics like, I shoot their lights out, till it's bright out. But it just keeps looping those lyrics. So it's almost like you want to do this to someone you're justice healing really bad. Why aren't you doing it?
Because they'll die.
I guess I just never really got around to just taking that moment. But
you got around to it. It looped in your head. You got around to it. It is not that. You know that they will die.
Well, I mean, they...
He had it coming. If you'd have seen it.
It's my hubby's...
abuser.
Yes.
Yep.
Father the one that was like the adopted father.
So he doesn't want, even though he wants just desserts, he doesn't.
He does. Oh, he
Oh,
does. Yeah,
okay.
he like just do it, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
but
Bridget said they have options to make better choices. When you do this just desserts, it presents them with paths. It presents them with those manila folders.
okay, so
I'm not saying do it, Derek. I'm saying think about it.
I mean, I've thought about it for like
Years.
yeah, for the past while now. Um, for the past year, actually, for the past year, I've thought about it because it came to me like around this time, whenever I was notified of everything. Um, but I guess there was just something about it, like kind of like how you said, like, you know, I was in the mindset of like, well, this actually kills people. So, I mean,
There's a really heavy spot when you're talking about it, thinking about it. I don't know if it's because you're on TikTok. I don't know if it's public. I don't know what this is, but it's a really, really, really heavy, deep, in your mental space room. It's like you have a private altar room inside your mental space room where you go to think about this sort of thing. And it's like you don't take this lightly. This is not something to make a decision on, whether you've been thinking about it for years publicly.
yeah, it's true. And I, I don't know, because it's like, yeah, I
It's
want to
pulling
do
me
it?
down.
Do I feel like as if this person needs this? Yeah, you know, let them just recycle and just start over, you
Okay,
know?
so how about keep yours on pause and we'll do mine, which is a little bit less intense.
Okay, yeah.
Okay?
It's
And we're gonna
RuPaul's
do this.
dancers. No,
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's but that no,
they're
that directs the stuff to it. I want to do something else. Um it reminds me of the TikTok that I did where I was like, "Hi, take this map. Here's a map. Take it." So it is kind of like them, but it's not. Spirit, if it's in the highest good, please get in his soul consents and his team allows. Please give him a light bulb moment. Please, if it's in the highest good, please deliver whichever kind of justice work keeps him from harming another ever again in that way.
Wow.
I saw him start rapping, and I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know if it's like sermons. I'm not really sure what this is.
Yeah, Derek's
Oh
confirming.
my goddess. He's an
What?
ordained minister.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
That's the thing that blows your mind? Okay.
No, no. The fact that she said it, you know, sermons. And I'm all like, holy cow. Wow. Okay.
So it wasn't the
So
coffin or the striped shirted guy. It was sermons.
the sermon that's got me right
Um,
there.
I don't know if he's gonna start
You're both doing
reciting them
this. You're both doing this.
Oh my
because I'm
gosh.
watching. So
This
it's
is so
like I don't know if he's gonna start reciting these scriptures or if he's gonna turn to Jesus
Oh,
or
yeah.
like
He's an extremist. He's gonna go like he's speaking in tongues. It's gonna. What
okay.
is this? What is this? Is something. This is not fuckboy energy though. This is something else.
this right here.
It feels
Uh,
Yeah.
like not is it Mennonite? Like
Oh, you're
whenever
taking his
they're like
mask off.
oh this feels like going
Scooby Doo that
complete
motherfucker.
extreme.
Derek. Scooby Doo that motherfucker. Oh. Okay. All right. My battery is going to die. And
yeah.
Mine too. So I'm
cool.
okay off.
So we're going to do this. What I like to do is 1, undo anything we shouldn't have done. 2, copy and paste that motherfucker everywhere. So any version of you or your family or anything that needs this has it throughout space and time. Just fucking spread that shit everywhere. That's what she said. Okay. Spirit, if it's in my highest good,
Spirit, if it is in my highest good,
please copy and paste
please copy and paste
everything I did for myself and my situations today
and my situation today,
and the other people in those situations,
and the other people in those situations,
if their soul consents.
if their soul consents.
All over the place, up, down, left, right, in all directions.
In every direction, above, below, left, right, forward, back, inside,
Throughout all 4 quadrants.
above all 4 quadrants.
Please ripple all of this
Please recall all of this
into every now moment.
into every now moment.
Align myself,
Align myself,
family, friends,
family, friends,
relationships, pets,
relationships, pets,
compartments,
compartments,
practices,
practices,
career,
career,
remembrance,
remembrance,
and prosperity. With the money tree healing,
with the money tree,
the most healed timeline,
the most healed timeline,
what's rightfully and already mine,
was rightfully and already mine,
receiving what's rightfully and already mine,
receiving what is rightfully and already mine,
and back to my now moment. Please undo anything and everything
anything and everything
that we did today
is
that was not in the highest good.
highest good. Crazy, because now I can I see like a ripple, and it's almost like I can see like almost just like of like different, it's like, it's like a being between 2 mirrors, and you have like a million of yourself going one way, a million of yourself way.
Say, Spirit, please merge all versions of me into one.
Spirit, please me,
Calibrate me.
calibrate me,
Return me to the correct dimensions.
return me to the correct dimensions. That's pretty badass.
It was very matrixy. It reminded me of, I don't know what that was, but it was like when he touches the mirror and then he goes in. It was like that. Okay. Well, thanks for joining us. Sorry this was like out of nowhere, but we really appreciate you. And
you know what? Thank you.
No,
I agree.
I don't know what.
I love you guys. You are so funny. Y'all get me every time, especially that. Oh, the bib blade. Yeah.
Oh, the
I don't know what you're talking
bib,
about.
right.
I'm so confused. I don't know what you're talking about.
The babuble.
The babuble. Yeah.
Oh, the Beeble. The Beeble.
Oh, that French book.
Yeah.
With the zombies.
Right.
I've been wanting to check that one out.
Yeah.
I heard it was killer. Womp womp.
It's interesting.
Okay. Bye, guys. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye. Don't forget to disconnect. Bye. Love y'all.
Oh, yeah. Cleanse and purify them. Send them back. Cleanse and purify me. Bring me back.
Ashe.
Bye.
Bye.